Perform24 family, let's go. Let's go. Today was day 16 of Squatober, and it was a test. Not like a physical test or a mental test, but like my training was actually a test of how the next couple weeks is gonna go. Depending on how I did today in my lift, that determined my percentages for the next 2 weeks. I think I passed the test. So from now on, I have to raise my maximum, which was 300 pounds, up 5%, which takes it to 315. So my new working sets are now going to increase in weight. Feeling pretty good about that. Okay, so now that my training is over for the day, I'm gonna answer the question that everybody's been asking me. Is it even healthy to squat every single day? I'm gonna answer that right now. Before we answer that question though, check the tee. Oh, we got a little dirt on it. This is an official Perform24 t-shirt. Never trust a man with weak glutes. That's a saying we have in here. We joke about it, and then I made a t-shirt about it this summer. But if your man has weak glutes, he's clearly not doing what he's supposed to do. Can't trust that man. T-shirt's on the website. It'll ship directly to you. Okay, so I'm a performance coach, I'm a strength coach. I've been training full-time as my full-time job, as my primary source of income since 2010. I would never program my clients or my athletes the same movement every single day. And my clients and my athletes know that about me, and some people on social media know that about me. And so as I've been going through this Squatober training, a bunch of people have asked me, Levi, you wouldn't have me do that. Why are you doing that? Isn't squatting every day bad for you? Isn't that gonna lead to overtraining? Here's my response to that. I don't think that doing any movement every single day is really all that good for you. Probably shouldn't squat every day, probably shouldn't bench every day, probably shouldn't run 5 miles every day. At some point you need to switch that up. But here's where I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball at you. Squatting every weekday, we're not training on the weekends, but squatting every weekday for the month of October is not nearly enough volume to really cause more damage than the benefit it's giving you. I have pro athletes that have way more intense training camps than this. My military personnel go through way more intense training than a handful of barbell back squat reps a day. For long-term performance, of course you need variety. And the more structured and organized that variety can be, just like some of the programming 101 topics that we talked about earlier this week, but the more organized that variety can be, obviously the better long-term performance you're going to have. One of the biggest things that we as humans, we as human athletes have going for us is our versatility. We want to maximize that versatility. I don't think locking yourself into a single movement pattern for long time frames is good for you. I think that you need to be moving globally as much as you can and as frequently as you can. I consider Squatober almost like a blitz. It's like a sprint. We're just gonna cram as much back squat density as we can into this relatively short amount of time. It's only like 4.5 weeks. We're gonna cram as much density of this back squat into this time frame as we possibly can, strictly with the objective to increase your barbell back squat. On September 30th, when I made the Squatober Day 0 video, I said that I wanted to get a bigger back squat. I want to put up more weight. I want more weight on my back during a squat. That is why I'm doing Squatober. If I was going for any other objective, if I had any other goal in mind, a program like this probably isn't the right move. If I'm trying to be athletic, if I'm trying to go through a full athletic season, healthy and maximizing my physical capacity, if I wanted to make sure that my body is doing the most that it can possibly do on a conditioning level, on an agility level, on a power level, Squatober is not the move. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for a bigger squat. And a specialized program like Squatober will get me there. And 4.5 weeks is not a long time. So no, you shouldn't squat every day. But it is okay to dial in and push really, really hard for a short amount of time. Today is Friday. I'm wrapping up. I'm gonna go enjoy my weekend. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you on day 19. On Monday, we've only got 10 lifts of Squatober left. It's game time.